Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game about fighting bee colonies called Queen Bee. Queen Bee is a 2 to 4 player game where players are taking on the role of a bee colony. So there's some warrior bees, some worker bees, and a queen, hence the name Queen Bee. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to fight the other bee colonies so you can be the last queen bee surviving. You're going to do this through some card play, through taking one of 4 actions through your turn. It's a pretty clever game. It's interesting, and it's a minis combat game. And who would have thought I would be reviewing something like that? So let's go to the table and check it out. All right, so here's a game of Queen Bee set up for 3 players. Let me go through setup really quickly. You're going to take all the cards, you're going to shuffle them, deal each player 3. You're going to put all the dice somewhere near the board. In a 3-player game, this hive isn't being used, so I'm going to put them there. You're going to give each player a turn order, which will look like this. It'll give what you do on your turn on one side, and it will give what happens on an attack on the other. But I have them both just sitting here, so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. And you're going to populate the hive something like this. This is what's in the rule book. So your queen's here. You're going to have your warriors in the back and your workers in the front. There's a few other places here, which is the trench. It can be used by the queen and the warrior, or the queen and the workers, but not the warriors. And that's set up. So let's get started. All right, so this is a pretty straightforward game. On your turn, you're going to draw a card. You're going to take one of these 4 actions, which is in the perform action section. And then at the end, you're going to discard down to 5. You're trying to be the last person with your queen, which is the big cube, alive. All right, so I'm going to go over the actions as I'm playing. There's only 4 you can do. I'm not going to go over the rules a ton because as I'm playing, you'll be able to figure out the game. So I'm going to be playing as a green player, and you're going to have cards. Cards are going to look like this. They're going to have colors, which pretty much mean when you can use them, and they're going to have an effect. So green cards can be used during your turn, before phase 2 or after phase 2, but just on your turn. You can't play these out of turn. Red cards are for attacking. There are attack cards, which are the sword, and then there's an attack with a shield, which is defense, or after you roll the dice. Then there are blue cards that can be played at any time. So on my turn, I'm going to go ahead and get started by playing a pesticide. So what this is going to let me do is going to have all the other players kill one of their bees in their nest or in their hive. So if you don't have bees in your hive, you don't have to worry about it. You will not be affected. So I'm going to, we'll say this player will kill this one and this player will kill this one, and I just go off to the side. All right, so that's one thing I can do on my turn. I can play more green cards if I want to, but I think I will. So I'm going to go ahead and play this green card as well, swatted. So I get to choose one of my opponents, and they have to remove one of their worker or warrior bees immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will choose the red player, and they're going to get rid of this warrior bee. No, they wouldn't do that. That's silly. They'll get rid of this extra worker bee. All right, now I'm going to take my turn. So I have one of 4 things I can do. I can buzz around, which means I can move 5 spaces. So moving 2 bees 1 space is 2 spaces. It's 1 movement per bee. Or moving these 3 to here is 3 spaces. So I have 5 spaces of movement I can make, or I can move 1 bee 5 spaces. I can swarm, which will let me move 3 bees to 1 bee. So say I had a bee here, I can move these 3 to here, knowing that there's can ever be 4 bees in 1 hex. I can repopulate. So say I have my queen in my hive, or in my queen space, and all these spaces are empty. For every empty space, I can repopulate 1 more bee. So say I had 3 dead bees, I could put 1 bee in each of them, but I can't do that because these spaces are full. Or the last thing I can do is I can sting. So I can move up to 3 spaces, and then I can get adjacent to somebody, and I can sting. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. So I'm going to move 1, 2 here, and now I'm going to sting. So the way attacking works, I'll show you this card. So the attacker gets to play a card that has a sword. So I'm going to see if that's something I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and play this card, Stuck. So this is going to let me disable one of my opponent's weakest bees. So they're going to get 1 less die. So they're going to have to only roll 1. So these little yellow dice are for the little worker bees. The big black dice are for the queen and the warriors. They have a different breakdown. This one, the little ones only go to 3, and the big ones go to 4, so they're a little stronger. All right, so we're both fighting with little ones. I'm going to be fighting 2 little ones because I have these 2 guys, and they have 1. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. I have 4. You're allowed to have 1 reroll. I'm going to leave it at 4. All right, so then they get to look at their cards. Whoever rolls the lowest gets to play any sword with shield cards. And they're going to go ahead and do that. They're going to, no, they can't. They can't get a 4, so they're not going to do that. So they're not going to play any cards. So I'm going to win. So ties go to the winner. That it doesn't apply here, but if I had tied, it would go to the attacker. So these bees are dead. They're going to move. I'm going to move. I have to move at least one of these bees into the new territory, but I'm going to move both because I want to be able to maybe start working my way in to try to kill the queen. And then at the end of my turn, or whoever loses the battle gets to draw a card. So they get to draw this card. And then at the end of my turn, I discard down to 5. I don't have any cards, so I'm done. So now we'll go to blue. They're going to draw a card. Oh, I never did draw a card on my turn. Whoops. So that'd be mine. So I'm drawing a card. So they want to get back at me for playing that pesticide card. So they're going to play a pesticide card and make red and green kill one of their bees. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this one. And they're going to kill this one. And then they want to start attacking 2. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, shoot, they can't go that far. I might have broken the rules too. 1, 2. Yeah, I think I broke the rules too. So pretend that I was allowed to move 4. I should have only technically moved 2, so sorry. But what they're going to do is they're going to move 1, and then 2, 3, 4. And they're going to move 1 over here, 5. So they're going to start working their way to that person's nest. And then they are done. Then it's red player's turn. They're going to draw a card. All right, so they have a green card, 3 red cards, and a blue card. Blue cards look like this. They're basically can be played anytime, whenever the situation applies. So this is going to let me help out one side of a battle if I want to. Well, if red wants to. So what red's going to do is they want to take this out because they're tired of looking at it. So what they're going to do is they're going to move 1, 2, and then they'll move 3 here, and then they're going to sting me with these. Oh, they can't do that. Let's take that back. So we'll move another one over here. All right. So they're going to sting with these. So they get to play a sword card first if they want to. So they're going to go ahead and do the bee smoker. That means I cannot play any battle cards during the battle. So whatever my dice rolls are is what I'm stuck with. All right, so red is rolling. They get 2 black ones because they have 2 warriors and 2 workers, and I just have 2 workers. So I have 4. I'll reroll. I have 6. That's good. And then they have 4, 7, 9. They can reroll. 13. All right, so I don't think I have any cards that are going to let me do anything. Nope, so I'm done. They win. So I get to draw a card because I lost. These 2 are dead. And then they have to send at least 1 into the new space. They can't send the warriors because the warriors can't go in there, which is why I didn't fight with these. So I'm going to send these 2 little ones in here so they can claim that territory. And then they are done. Back to me. Let's see. So I'm going to do a swarm. So I'm just going to, nope, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 to there. And then I'm done. I need to draw a card. So now I'm done. That was my turn. It was simple. Now I'm moving to blue. They're going to draw a card. And what do they want to do? So they're going to do 1, 2, 3. And they're done. They're not going to play any other cards, so they're done. Now we're moving on to red. They can't attack because they can't move in there, so they're not worried about getting attacked. So they're going to draw a card. But what they want to do is they're going to start getting a wall built. So they're going to move 1 here, 1 here. Then they're going to move these 2 for 4 and 5. So they're starting to move out because they want to start getting ready to attack. And then they're done. Back to me. I'm going to draw a card, and then I am going to swarm. So what swarming does is it lets you move 3 bees to any space that has 1, which I'm going to move over to here. Because I'm going to try to get these bees to start moving their way through this tunnel to do some stuff. So I am done. Back to blue. So blue is going to go ahead and move 2. And they'll move a 3rd one to there. And they're going to sting these 2. So what that means is they are going to attack with their 3 little ones. And they're going to they're going to play this to limit the red to no additional bonus rolls. So red cannot re-roll. So blue gets to roll 3 of these and red gets to roll 2 of these. So let's see what happens. So we have 6, 8. Ooh, I'll leave it. That was a 2. And then they have 8. All right, so attacking ties go to the attacker. So right now blue is winning. So red gets to play some cards to see if they can do anything. All right, they're going to force a re-roll. So they're going to play this card to make them re-roll one of their dice. So they're going to see what happens. So they're going to re-roll this one. Got the same result, so nothing. So now the blue player can play some cards if they want to. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and do this. They're going to buzz for help. They're going to call in another bee from the colony. And then they're going to join the active battle. So they're going to call in this guy. So they get to roll another one of these little worker dice. So now they have 10. And they have anything else they can play? Nope, nothing that can do anything. So they're done. So red loses. So they lose all their warriors. Blue is going to move in to here. Oh, nope, sorry. Right there. I can't remember. Yeah, right there. And then red gets to draw a card because they lost. Now it's back to green. Draw a card. I am going to... I'm going to move. So I'm going to do 3, 5. So I moved 5. That's my turn. So I'm done. I have 5 cards, so I don't have to discard. Back to blue. So blue's going to draw a card. They are going to... They're going to try to attack the queen. So they're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all they're going to do. And they'll go ahead and move this one down too. So that's 5. And they're done. They're not attacking because they did the movement instead. So now we're moving to red. Red has 5 cards, so if they don't play one, they'll have to discard because you have a 5 card limit. So they're going to do this. They're going to play this to gain an extra action. So they're going to play that card. So the first action they want to do is they're going to repopulate, which is going to let them bring a cube. Repopulate, if these spaces are empty, you can repopulate. So I'm going to do 1 right there because that's the only one that's empty. All right, then for my next action, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put those right there. And that, I can move 2 more. And I'll put 1 here, and then I'll move that one that way. All right, and then I don't have to discard because I have 5 cards. Back to green. Draw a card. All right, so I'm going to repopulate with the BBs. So what this is going to let me do, it's going to let me add 2 extra bees when I repopulate, which is good because I only have 1 space I can repopulate. So now, instead of just putting the 1 there, I can put all 3 of these bees right there. And then I'm going to move 2, 4, 5. All right, done. Back to blue. This will be the last round I'll play because I think you'll get the gist. All right, so it's blue's turn. They're going to go all out and they're going to attack the queen. They can move up to 3 if they want to. They're not going to. So they're going to attack the queen. So what they're going to do is they are going to play the bee smoker, which means they cannot play any cards during battle. So whatever they roll, they roll. So the blue player is going to roll 4 yellow ones and the queen gets to roll 1. So we'll roll the queen. She's going to re-roll. You get 1 free re-roll. She rolled a 1, which is not looking good. But they rolled a 1. They got 7. So they can play some cards if they want. They can't play any cards because they're not allowed. All right, so they took out their queen. So the red's queen is dead. All right, so now what happens here is red now works for blue. They are under the control of blue's queen to start fighting green. So it's essentially red and blue versus green. for the rest of the game, because the queen is dead, the queen is dead. So red is going to be playing with blue. They still get to play their own actions, but they're just going to be going after green. So that's how you play queen B, and you're going to keep going until there's only one queen left, and that person is the winner. Let's go up to the top, see what they think about it. All right, so that was queen B. So first, I said it was a minis game. As you can see, my playthrough didn't have minis, it had cubes, but there is going to be a version, or the final version is going to have minis. So what I use with the cubes, just keep in mind they'll be minis. So it's a minis game where you're fighting other people's minis, just with cubes. So that being said, that's semantics, but I just wanted to point that out. So this is a really fun game. This is a game where it's a game that I probably would never play. I'm not into the minis, combat, trying to be the last person standing, but this was enjoyable. It's easy to teach, it's easy to learn, it's easy to play. On your turn, you draw a card, you take an action, and you might fight. And that's it. If you have more than 5 cards, you discard down to 5. You're just trying to do that over and over and over until you have the last queen bee standing. So let me tell you about some things I like about this game. What I like is the rulebook, super clear, lays out things really nicely. Setup is shown in the rulebook. It's on page 4 or 3, which is kind of weird. It should be at the beginning, but that's neither here nor there. I like that. I like that it's in the rulebook. I like that it has descriptions of what all the cards do in the back. I like that it shows some examples of some stuff that happens. Yeah, good rulebook. I like that this is a minis game that has cubes. I don't know. I mentioned that earlier. I don't know if that's going to be the final, but I really hope it's the final because I like playing it with cubes. It just helps it. I don't know. I like cubes. So if I'm going to play this game, I'm going to want the cube version, and I like that. The cards are really clear what they do, when you can use them, how they work. The artwork on the cards are cute. The little bee pictures, cute, and I enjoy it. The dice are really good quality. The yellow dice are really nice. The worker bee, the warrior bee dice are nice. They're easy to tell apart. One's black, one's yellow. No qualms there. So I'm going to go to the one con that I have. The one con that I have is that I wish the queen had its own die. So the queen in this game rolls the same die as the worker. That doesn't give me enough motivation to bring my queen out of the nest, or whatever it is. I think, yeah, the hive, the nest in the hive. So, because once you do that, that limits some other actions that you can do and some other cards that you can play. Like the repopulate, where you can bring new bees into your hive. Once your queen ever leaves your nest or it dies, you can't do that anymore. So it's when it starts to get dire and you move your queen, it needs to be worth it. It needs to have a die that maybe goes to 6 or to 5 to just make it a little more special. It's the queen. She's the queen. She's the boss. She needs to have her own die to be slick. But not a big deal. It still gives you another black die, which goes to 4, which is pretty cool. So just a side thing that I wish happened. I would like to have a separate die for the queen. So yeah, I like this game. This game is really fun. I'm hoping that I can get a copy when it gets into final production, because occasionally you just want to get out a game, roll some dice, and kill some fools. It's fun to do that occasionally, and I have a buddy that really likes to play games like that, so we would have a good time. So if you like minis games and just destroying other players, definitely check this out. It has a cute bee theme, and it's easy to play, easy to learn, easy to teach, and I approve. So I'm Jason with Boardgame Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.